So this happened once. I was at a competition and there was this billionaire. His name is Patel. You can look him up. He's like multi-billionaire. For him to say that he felt inadequate and he wishes he did that inner work when he was like 20, 22 years old, as opposed to him being a 40-year-old billionaire and then still feeling like he wasn't good enough. And then I went to India and I ended up staying in India for 14 months at the Isha Yoga Center, the India Ashram. Really, my priorities were my growth.
Why did you decide to leave your current life and move to the ashram for such an extended period of time?
It really comes down to priorities and sacrifice, right? When I really look at it, I wasn't really sacrificing anything. And I'll tell you why. So before I went to Isha Yoga Center, and before that I went to Isha USA, Isha Institute of Inner Sciences, the Ashram in Tennessee, the Isha Foundation's Ashram in Tennessee. And when I went there, I planned to go for a week. And I literally had an amazing job offer that was everything I wanted, and I had accepted it. I had 2 job offers. I said no to one, I accepted that one. And I was like, dude, this is going to be amazing. I'm going to go. I just finished my master's. I just graduated. I'm going to go spend a week, and then I'm going to come back, and then I'm going to continue doing what I wanted to do. But in that 1 week, I volunteered for there's a children's program, and that touched me so deeply that I kept postponing coming back and starting that job. And then I ended up staying 5 months. So what happened is, after that, I came back, and then I started working at another tech startup. And then I worked there for about 2 months, and then I went to India and I ended up staying in India for 14 months at the Isha Yoga Center, the India Ashram. So really, my priorities were my growth. And when it comes to the sacrifice, I was like, what am I really sacrificing by doing this? I realized nothing worthwhile. Everything, I would rather focus my time and energy on what is worthwhile for me and what would make me into a valuable individual that can contribute to the world over a period of time. Because when I really looked around, I saw there was nobody around me. So I'm coming from the tech space, startup space, this space of innovation, entrepreneurship, right? I looked at people who were like far more successful than me, people who are, like on the top Forbes lists and things like that. And not just that, I'll give one example. So this happened once. I was at a competition and there was this billionaire. His name is Patel. You can look him up. He's like multi-billionaire. And he shared something so powerful. So I think I was 22 at the time before I took inner engineering. And he said he felt inadequate. So this is a person, he said he didn't even know if Zellers existed anymore, because he never had to go shopping. So Zellers is, for the people that don't know, Zellers is a department store in US and Canada. And he's like, does that even exist anymore? Because it came up as like a joke or something as part of that fireside chat. And I was there present in person. And I was like almost front row. And for him to say that he felt inadequate and he wishes he did that inner work when he was like 20, 22 years old, as opposed to him being a 40-year-old billionaire and then still feeling like he wasn't good enough. Like a few months after that, I took inner engineering. And then it was a few months after that when I graduated officially from my master's. And then I went to Isha USA, and then later on to Isha Yoga Center. So really, it wasn't that I left anything behind that was worthwhile. It's just, this is something that came to me, which is I had invested so much time and energy into something. Now it was time to divest from it so I could invest in something more worthwhile, which is my inner growth.
Is it really needed? Can't I do this from my own space?
Yeah, man, of course, like a lot of people cannot go there and just leave everything in their life because of different situations. I was, like 22, 23, something, right? So I'm 25 now. So I was, 23, I think, when I went to the US Ashram. So which means I didn't have, so actually that was also the reason why I really wanted to do a tech startup, because I wouldn't have the baggage. I would be able to take the risk and work on a project for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, because I I didn't have a marriage. I didn't have children. I didn't have, thankfully for me, I didn't have to take care of my family financially or otherwise, right? Other people may have to. So really, it really does depend on your personal situation. Given that, it's also true that it's important to know what you really want, and like, really there's two aspects to it. One is how quickly you want to move, right? Like, do you want to shorten that time to do it? Like, that's actually that's not two, that's just one thing. I'm going to say just that, because that's the most important thing. The most important thing is, how quickly do you want to move? Do you want to shorten that time or not?